Nice bubbles.
All right, here we are. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Get this chat going. Hello, Ed and Kathleen. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. Or morning if you're on the West Coast. I know you're not on the West Coast. You're on the West Coast of Florida, but not the real West Coast.
Yes, Tampa, Florida. Why don't you guys chime in that are tuning in right now? Let us know if you can see and hear us and where you're from. My name is Lisa. I'm part of the team here at PhotoDay. Today's special guests are PhotoDay Trailblazers, Kathleen and Ed Martin. They've been with us for quite a while now, LKN Images out of North Carolina. So welcome and thank you for your time today. Yeah. Time is precious. We definitely know that. So, we got some hellos. We got Tony, Rich, Christy, Laura, Eric, Roy. Hey guys, Michigan,
everybody's
here, Virginia. Yeah, got a bunch. So awesome. Glad you guys are joining us today. Don't be shy in the chat. It makes it more fun for us to interact with you guys.
Washington. I'm seeing where everybody's from.
Well, we're all good at talking, so we can fill the air if we need to. But we'd rather chat with you guys that are watching us.
Yeah. Yes. Kathleen, you were my camp counselor in Astoria. Hey, Christy, how you doing? And I'm with Chuck. Where are you from in upstate New York? I'm from Syracuse originally.
Awesome. So general housekeeping, guys. By the time we talk and we see your chat, there's like about a 10-second delay. Other than that, if we freeze or you lose sound at any time, there should be a reconnect button at the top of the screen. If for some reason I go away, I'll restart. Just hang tight and then it'll continue again. So you just never know these days with streaming anything, all of the technical things that can go wrong. So, got a nice crowd today. Thanks guys for joining us. Let's see.
We've got 2 shoots this afternoon. We got to go do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Busy.
This weekend was killer. We had 4 shoots, 2 and 2, and it was freezing cold on Saturday. We were out there in Charlotte, and wind is blowing. We've got these cute little, senior sessions because we do senior portraits also. So we've got this little girl, and she's all cute and pretty, and her hair is all over the place, and she's wearing her spring dresses. Like, oh no, it's 40. It was nasty.
Yeah, it was chilly. It was chilly in Florida this weekend, so I can only imagine it was chilly in North Carolina.
It was pretty bad.
It got windy. And
the wind was all over the place. Yeah, it's lots of fun. Next day was beautiful.
Yeah, well, I just want to give you guys a little bit of backstory. Kathleen and Ed have been with us for pretty early on with the launch of PhotoDay and having the new shiny technology. They are PhotoDay Trailblazers, which means they adopted early. They made it work for them in their area, in their market. Yes, cheers.
Got mine too.
His is empty.
Yes. And they've provided us with a ton of feedback along the way. Ed is especially great at detailed feedback. So.
You love my emails, Lisa.
Right.
I love your emails. Like, they get me so excited. I love how you always precursor them with something like, you're gonna read this email. And then I was like, I really have to think long and hard before I respond. And I can't just send you back one sentence after you write me that email. Like, I have to write you another email back, like at least half as long. So.
They'll just keep me out of the loop. It's probably easier. And so
we should just do it live and talk like this because the webinars are shorter than reading each other's emails, right? They're fun. But...
No, it's really great. So, if you guys want to give your background and what you're into, like what you've been using PhotoDay, like how you started in the business. Kathleen, I know this is your baby. So
I know. I started out with this cute little side hustle thing. It was gas and groceries for the longest time. We've got 3 kids. They're now grown and flown. But I started, it's my major in college. So, Chuck, you're from Fulton. I went to Potsdam up in New York, way up north by Canada, and did art and photography instead of computers because it seemed like a better idea. And then got out of college, went and worked for IBM because computers, and met Ed there. So from there, we, worked, had kids. And as I started attending different events with the kids or just, having cute kids, I was taking a lot more photos, and this is pre-iPhone. So I had to get out the big gear and take some pictures of the kids all on film. and just continued doing it. I mean, I was shooting families and friends and things like that. And then once we moved from Massachusetts to Florida, then up to North Carolina, it seemed like the right time to start doing this as a business. And so off I went, and I started with families, did a lot of sideline action, which I don't do as much anymore. But I do a lot of team and individual as it went along. And now Ed has joined me, and we've doubled the business. Thank you, PhotoDay, too, for making that possible. Absolutely. There's no way we could have done that. We've expanded so much on our team and individual side. It's crazy. We've got 10 schools now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're mostly high schools. When we do the team and individual stuff, just that's with senior portraits, that kind of is where we've led to. We do a ton of banners, over 700 banners this year, senior banners to highlight the athletes, and band members. We do marching band banners. So we've been pretty busy, and Ed is tasked with automating everything. Me. Like, I wake up in the morning, there's a list, and which is good. That's what I wanted. Be careful what you ask for.
Yes, and I think, Ed, we were talking about sharing this just a little bit ago about how you're kind of this dynamic duo. Like, it's important to have that help, right? And, you know, so where do you come into all of this?
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly, what do I do all day? Everything but push the shutter button. I'm the only time I touch the camera is to take the card out so I can upload the photos, put it back in and format it. Yep. I know where the shutter button is, just so I know enough not to ever touch it. So it probably makes me the only non-photographer on this webinar. But my background was software and technology and logistics. I spent 25 years making NASCAR video games. I was everything from executive producer to president and owner of the company along the way. I worked for EA Sports and big companies and small companies, but really my background was managing engineers and artists and getting major projects done. So coming and joining Kathleen, when I finally had a chance to escape about 2.5 years ago, it was, all right, let's figure out a way to bring more organization to this so we can do more. And honestly, my goal in life is I want Kathleen to be able to take more photos and engage directly with more customers and get all the rest of that crap off of her plate. So either I do it or we come up with some automations to help make it easier for her. And I think we've been successful.
Oh, but yeah. I mean, people comment on the back end systems that we have for, for the sports side and also for the regular side, the portrait side. It's like, wow, you guys are, my old customers like, wow, you've added a lot of stuff, so it's improved. And they're like, oh yeah, that's so much easier. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Directors.
Yeah. So today's webinar is all about the school sports side of things, not so much your senior business, right? Because it kind of crosses over a little bit here and there, but we'll talk mainly about school sports and how you're implementing PhotoDay and some, you can share some of your personal results with that you have, because I know a lot of people joining us today are new, or they might just be breaking into school sports, or they might have been doing it with paper forms and they're quite lost with how to get that online, from anywhere from the communication to the workflow to processing. So audience, guys, tuning in today, if you have any questions at all as we go through this, feel free to post them in the chat as questions, and we will get to them as we go along. So thank you for that introduction. So, okay, we're kind of in the way, but there's 3 gallery types in PhotoDay.
Right over there.
We're kind of in the way here, so I can just move us really quick. So there we go. We have the 3 gallery types: private, group, and public. So I think it's always like a good point of discussion to talk first, like, which gallery type do you guys utilize and why do you utilize it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, group.
Yep.
Never private, and maybe moving towards public. How's that?
Yeah, that's the good quick answer. Again, because we're dealing with older kids, we're dealing with middle school and high school.
They all have phones.
We've never had to do a private gallery, even in our other types of business where we've done dance schools and things like that. We've never done a private gallery. We've been doing group galleries, and Lisa, Kathleen, and I were chatting about this ahead of time. Our evolution is definitely going to be to go more towards public galleries. It just makes it easier today with deep links directly to the galleries and things like that. We don't have to worry about password protecting things or anything like that with high school kids. So
they'll get in anyway. I mean, they're high school.
Yeah, and also, especially with this audience, we think that the kids like to see everybody else's photos.
And the parents do too. The parents talk about, oh, didn't she look so cute? She doesn't usually dress up that well. You know, you're like, nice. But yeah, they're very good about it. They like to see everybody.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note, like, the main difference here between group and public galleries is that in public, they can have a deep link. They get right into the gallery. They don't have to enter the access code again. But in group, it's just like one more step. They just enter that access code again. It seems like more secure. There's not a direct link right into the gallery, but yeah, soon there's exciting updates happening in PhotoDay. Can't share too much during this webinar, but yes, we'll be removing a lot of those barriers as well, making it easier for customers to get to their galleries. We'll be removing some more friction soon.
Yeah, because barriers to entry. We do not want to put anything in the way of the parents or kids coming into the photos. And I mean, the group, that extra little step, most of us all have the attention span of a gnat. And so if you know, make me have to go back and look at something, it's like, oh, well, look, something else happened. So if we can just make it easy to get to the photos, you know, one less thing to worry about.
Yeah. And I think it's important too that, like, any friction at all causes a little bit of frustration, right? So the less frustration, the better the experience, the happier the customer, the more blown away they are with the whole experience. And that's what we're really trying to do together, right? Is, you know, blow them away with a really cool experience and awesome images. So, all right, so let's just open the can of worms and talk about high school communication challenges.
You want this one?
This is like the first step.
Okay, so
boy, this caused me a lot of work.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. If you think about it with group leagues, you know, leagues, so you've got the baseball team and everything. Parents all show up. They're there for the shoot. They're there with phones and cameras and things like that. But parents in the elementary level are very, very involved. Parents at the middle school level start to move away. By high school, kids are like, Mom, if you show up at school, I'm going to be really upset with you. So the parents really just kind of step away, which, side note, they probably should stick around a little bit, but that's okay. That's another story. Getting, you know, on the day we do a shoot, it's during high school practice. There are literally no parents there. And so there's not like anybody we can sign up. So what we've had to do is figure out a way that the kids will give us the information, because you can't always count on the coaches, can't always count on the athletic director. And asking, sometimes at a school level, asking them to provide us that information, we'd rather not have somebody say no to us on that. And that can be a little sketchy that, you know, oh, wait a minute, we're going to give all the emails and phone numbers of all of our kids over to this set of vendors, you know? So we don't even ask the question. We are just saying, kids, you show up, you got your phone, you scan a QR code, enter in your name, your phone number, your school email, or not your school email, but an email address, parent's name or guardian, whomever is going to be the person in charge, their phone and their email. And, you know, and we tell them, you're not going to see any of these photos unless you do that. And we started a new thing this year
where we actually give away a free team digital photo. So I know everybody, you know, watching this, if you're doing schools and sports, you always are faced with what do I do with digital team photos?
You don't want them to go away.
There are those that believe it doesn't impact sales. And we believe, because we've tested it, that it does. If you put it out there as a digital, you'll typically sell one, and then miraculously you stop selling it because it gets shared and posted on Facebook, and that's fine. We decided to just embrace that. So we create what we call the official team photo. And everybody that registers with us or opts into the job, we send them a link and give them the free team photo when we release all the photos. It's just priming the pump. But we also have other versions of that photo in the galleries.
Yes.
That you cannot download digitally, but you can use them on memory mates. You can do prints.
Yep.
Our average order value has gone up since we've done this.
Yep.
So we really believe in that process, and the registration system is what helps us do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And just as a side note, so you got questions coming in, the QR code, collecting that data, that is something that you do outside of PhotoDay. Yes. That is not currently a PhotoDay feature.
No, correct. It's a sign. We have a sign we show up with, and they go, you know, because everybody uses a QR code.
But the QR code can do anything. It can, you know, create, you know, whatever your gallery code is to 90738 and, you know, create the text message. Or in our case, we have a website that we send everybody to, lknmediaday.com. But QR codes, especially these days, everybody got really used to it in COVID, right? You can't go to a restaurant without seeing a QR code. Nobody has menus anymore. everybody got really, really used to this technology that's been around forever and was almost abandoned. I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank you, COVID. QR codes are really a great way, whether you're going to do a registration system like us or just the SMS message to 90738. Use those QR codes. They are fantastic.
Because people see QR codes and immediately are like, the kids, it's so funny. They walk up, we don't even tell them what to do, but they see the sign and they're like, oh, hang on a second. And they just immediately go to it because they've been trained and conditioned.
I mean, somebody bought a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl this year. Remember that with the QR code that just bounced around the screen. If you don't think QR codes are popular, go back and watch the Super Bowl. Believe me, that was tens of millions of dollars for that ad. It works.
Yeah, it does. It makes it really easy too, especially for us that are getting up there and we're becoming farsighted. We can't see our screen to type it off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. So,
before we jump off the slide, the real reason, like Kathleen said, we need the parent or guardian and the student, because in the end, it's probably the parent that's got the credit card and going to make the purchase.
It depends on the school. Some of these kids, oh my goodness.
But you really want to get to both of them. But if you had to pick one or the other, it's probably going to be
Typically the parent.
So that's why we get information for both of them. We have email addresses for both. We have the mobile numbers for both. So we're able to use email and text to get to them. And because of the free digital team photo, we get 100% of the kids that we shoot in these high schools registering, and we get a very high number of them that then opt into the PhotoDay job. So
so if they register, they get the free digital team. Basically, is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, and nobody has said, but can I just give it to everybody else? Well, they haven't figured out. It's kind of the heat of the moment. They're excited about it. Yay, let's do this. Sean was asking, is it Sean? Okay, let me put my glasses on.
Yeah, it's Sean.
QR code takes them to a Google form. Yeah, Sean, if you go to lknmediaday.com, you can see how this all works on our side. I don't want to get into too much of the details, but it's actually eye contact that we use. It goes to our webpage, and I just have an embedded eye contact form in there for each team that we shoot. You could use a Google sheet just as easily. It's just embedded into our website. Very easy.
Yeah, I was just going to post the link here in case anyone wanted to look at that later, just to see how you have it set up. But yeah, really easy. So, finding the decision maker at the school, like how do you, there's I know it's really basic, and it's probably like, you do this all the time, so it's really easy for you. But for somebody getting into it, I was just talking about this yesterday with somebody. One of the biggest mistakes is like the person that you book the job with isn't always the person that you need to reach out to for communication. So what are some of the things you ask, or how do you prepare for that?
High schools, you have to be really careful because there are school photographers that have contracts at these schools. So you can just be out there, hey, I'm going to take a picture of all the team and do all that stuff. We prefer you didn't, please.
You'll be escorted out quickly.
Yes, we're working that into our contracts. But your first point of contact might be a coach. If you've got a kid on the team, you can talk to your coach and say, hey, who's doing this? Ultimately, I go through the athletic directors. And that is a very small network. They all talk to each other and they recommend to each other. And these guys are so busy, especially, everything that went on with COVID, games got canceled, rescheduled. These guys are really depending upon guys and girls are depending upon one another. So that's a network you want to get into. We tripped and fell into a school this year. We'd already been in one in Mecklenburg for how many years?
Mecklenburg County is
county,
Charlotte County. We live just north of it.
We've been in the school for a while. And actually, Chuck, upstate New York, buddy, is the athletic director. He's who I met. He came to us through one of the main schools where our kids went. And he has put us on to a couple other schools, specifically one in Rocky River. And the athletic director there was only with us for one season before getting promoted to assistant athletic director of the entire county. He's put us into a couple other places.
Well, that's why relationships. Yeah, that's why relationships are so important, right? Don't ever burn your bridges. Always continue to build and make those relationships. It's really you selling you. It's not the software you're using. It's not the process. It's
making their lives easier too. It's right. Again, back to barriers to entry. We are making their lives easier. If I showed up and said, "Hi, this is my stack of order forms." I've been in other athletic directors' offices where they've got boxes of order forms and boxes of prints they have to deliver. If I showed up like that, they'd laugh me out. They're like, no, I'm sorry, that does not help my life. And, doesn't make my coaches happy. Athletic director's job is to make everything run on time, make sure the fields all look good, and make sure his or her coaches are in great shape and kids are doing what they should do and everybody's healthy. I guess that's in a nutshell, but I'm sure they tell you more.
You show them a demo of PhotoDay and it's like, okay, we get it. That's freaking awesome. We love that.
Yeah.
But those athletic directors are key. One last thing on that is that in our area, we're lucky. This is going to be different from area to area, I'm sure. But sports photography is a different decision within the school typically than yearbook photography. And we don't do underclassmen photos and yearbook and all that stuff. We do
our senior photos are all by single person contract. It's
so for us, the athletic director is really big. Doesn't mean we're not really good friends with whoever the yearbook coordinator is. We stay, because we feed them a lot of content and we're really good friends with those folks.
Which is another good person to keep happy.
Yeah, but for us, it's really the athletic director is the key decision maker.
Yeah,
principal, if you know.
Yes. So you talked about maximizing the opt-ins and how you guys are doing that, and then giving away the free team digital for anyone that registers for Picture Day. But are there other things that you're doing to help with that participation besides that?
Well, 100% of the kids get photographed. That is our, we walk in there saying to them, this is not just, hey, whoever brought an envelope gets a picture today. This is 100% of the kids. And we ask that, we demand that. Because politely I'm like, and so there was that one football coach, but we explained to them that, look, if we don't shoot, we don't have inventory. We're not charging you to be here. We're not asking for money from parents ahead of time. We don't use advance pay with football or, with high school. Just one more complication for these kids.
Sometimes we do, but usually not.
Yeah, typically whatever, special occasions. But so with them, we demand that we are allowed to photograph 100% of these kids, because if we don't have photos, every photo is a piece of inventory. And if we don't have inventory, we can't sell it. And, we're not coming back for a makeup day, kids. This is it. And so we have a whole matrix of how long it takes to photograph. That would be coming from him. I would have been like, it's about a minute a kid. Ed's like worked it out. And he's got spreadsheets and things.
He's down to the millisecond. He knows exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah, he's standing back behind me. You need to go faster. I'm trying.
Well, I am. I'm sitting there with my watch all the time. And as she's shooting, when she gets into it, I'm like, I'll just like whisper in her ear, hey,
Ed's like, wine time is exactly here, and now we're 15 minutes behind for the wine. So
that is totally
exactly.
But I'll finish somebody, there's the transition between kids, and he'll turn, he goes, that was 1:45, or you're running under a minute, or, if we have a poser, it obviously goes a little bit faster, but sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. As we get into bigger shoots, we do.
and we try to make the event fun. When we get in there, we don't have music playing. Sometimes the kids bring music and stuff, or the coaches have done it too. But we branded the whole thing Media Day. We want to make them feel like you are a professional athlete, even though you're a high school athlete. This is a big deal. The equipment we bring in, it's good. I still look at it and say, holy shit, that's really impressive looking stuff.
Yeah. It's all about that Picture Day experience and making them feel like pros. I mean, they're playing, they're in their glory. I mean, high school, athletics is a great time in your life, right? If you've ever played any kind of high school sport, it is a really great time in our lives. You always reflect back on it when you're older now and going, man, those were my best years.
I remember way back then. But, at the end of the season, all that's left is your record and your photo. Yeah. And so we've got half of that.
And if you're really, really lucky, you'll get a state championship ring, but not a lot of people get those. So the photos are really important.
Yeah. We got a question coming in from Andre. He just wanted to know how much do you deal with reshoots? He finds that female athletes hardly ever like their images and are always asking for reshoots.
Don't let them look at the photo in the back of the camera as you're shooting.
Yeah, that'll slow down your line
a lot, you down.
Ed jokes around with me that I will take as much time as I have. Like if we have a small team, I can take 2 hours.
If we have a big team,
you'll take 2 hours too. Yeah, I mean, I can it depends. But if we're in with, like we had a lacrosse team, women's lacrosse recently, and, a couple of them had been on the cheer squad, which we had run into problems with them not being as excited about their images. It was hot. They were sweaty. but they also did that high school thing, the mean girl thing, where they all get on a text thread and they start going back and forth like, oh my God, I didn't look good. You didn't either, and, they start doing that. And all of a sudden they're like, we'd like a reshoot. And we're like, in basketball, you may. We don't have the time. So we try and get it right in camera. I mean, we've been to Boatwright boot camp 3 or 4 times. I don't know. We help Jay with it. We're camp
coming back in
now,
July.
So
yes,
we go back there. So that is one of the things that we've learned about posing. We've learned about lighting, and learned about how to make it look as good as possible. And so we try and get it right in camera the first time. And we just don't have the time afterwards to do it.
But we do. We've got a studio set up here at the house, so
for banners,
kids will come in and do that. But for T&I stuff, we just
snooze you lose.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Boatwright Bootcamp, for those of you guys joining us, if you haven't heard of it, just stay tuned for the. I don't know if Jay has room left for Denver Bootcamp this July, but it's boatwrightbootcamp.com. So you guys can always check that out. Follow Jay on Facebook. Yeah,
it is
crazy worth it. Oh my God,
that's where we met you guys for the first time.
I know it is, and that's how our business started changing. Between that and PhotoDay, it's like that's how we ended up here.
Yes. All right, that leads us to our next thing in the process, is extractions. You guys are doing extractions. I know when I met you in the beginning, it was kind of like you did a little bit of a natural, traditional, and then you were getting into some Lascolite stuff, especially for the banners. And then you went green screen. Like, can you just talk about your process here?
It always bothered me that we'd go out and we do these banner photo shoots, and Kathleen would shoot a dozen, 15 fantastic photos of these kids, because we do different poses, different looks, all of that stuff, and they're great. And we would sell the one for the banner, which was great because we make a lot of money on banners, but all the other photos basically just get tossed in the trash.
Yeah.
So we tried doing some stuff with the Lascolite and just selling on a white background. Extractions on a white background are kind of difficult. And I always resisted green screen, thinking, oh my God, it just seems like old technology, right? And it's like, well, Jesus, they're shooting Star Wars on green screen, so it can't be that old. And talked to Brian Dorinski and a bunch of the Trailblazers and PhotoDay users that are into green screens. So yeah, we're going to give it a try. But I decided if we're going to do this thing, I want a big green screen, because the biggest problem we have is that 6'7" high school basketball player that wants to do his banner doing a dunk. And they're going to go right off the Lascolite. So I wanted a big screen. Everybody's warning. It's like, no, danger. You're going to get green spill and all this stuff. It's like, all right, well, we can fix that with lights, right? And we did a lot of practicing and working with stuff. And we now have a green screen that's 10 feet tall by 14 feet wide. It's self-standing.
Easy.
We just bought it on Adorama. It's a Manfrotto, I guess, is the brand. The thing is awesome. We shoot the kids on that for their banners. Like I said, we do lots of different poses for them. That's where they really get to be creative. It's fun. Bring it back. We do the extractions. I do most of the extractions in-house. It's up on the screen. I use the PixNub software, Easy Green Screen, which is something Brian recommended to me. PhotoDay has a great feature built in where they can do knockouts. There's other services out there as well if you have trouble, if you can't do it yourself. Like if I get on a green screen wearing this shirt today, I'm not going to be extracting this in-house. That's going to go to PhotoDay for a little bit of help.
Yeah, and one of our schools has green in their color, so it's like, we're going to have to look at other schools in the future and decide whether or not we take them based on their colors. Sorry.
Yeah, or we got to buy a blue screen. So
yeah, but they're also blue, unfortunately. The same school is blue and green. We're screwed no matter what. So for us, it's the PixNub stuff saves us money. We can do it in-house. It's very fast. We come back. I download the photos, put them into Lightroom. You go in, you do your color correction. We get the blinks out of there. And then I've just got a whole bunch of automation set up to do the extractions, put them on a different background, put a watermark on top of them, put them up on our banner sales site. It's very quick for us to do that. Where in the past, we used to have to send these out to Rabuku or something like that if we wanted to do an extraction and pay more money and wait a couple of days. It's just really, really fast. So these kids will see their banner images up online within 24 hours of us shooting them.
Yeah. We've learned, the kids, they like to screenshot everything. So we've had to kind of play with our proof or our watermark a little bit, because there was one with the green screen where they've all been extracted and we're putting them on the different backgrounds. And it just kind of went away. Like it's only on their body. And like, oh, this is not yet. So we had to adjust our background because we were doing some opacity and back and forth on that. I think we finally got into a level of obnoxious that
it is obnoxious. Oh, yeah. We've got a very obnoxious watermark.
Yellow bottom.
Yeah.
What's really, really cool is now that we have all those photos extracted, we put them up on PhotoDay and use the backgrounds feature, and we sell a ton of those. So we're selling the same photo multiple times, or we're selling now different iterations of that same athlete doing different poses multiple times.
Well, I mean, you're giving them the flexibility to create and, get what they want, what their style is, what's going to look like in good in their home when they display it, right? So you're giving them all those additional options. Before we get to the demo, because I'm going to show some of your images in that sample gallery and kind of how it's all setting, how it works with background feature. We do have some more questions coming in, so we'll look at these really quick. Do you do any customizations that require a name? Well, you do, right? On the banners, you're putting names on the banners.
Yeah. We don't do composites. I mean, we could. We've got the ability to do it. We just don't. We had a few people say, "Oh, COVID, we have to push people apart." We worked with those schools and got it done without going to composites. Just it's not something we've had to do. But
as soon as we finish a gallery, I want to have it up within typically 24 hours, sometimes less. Can't do that with composites.
Yeah. And so with the banner program, you're getting a roster from the AV. So you're able to...
We use the registration system. Yeah, we use our registration system. So we have all the kids' names. And then we take the photos and we don't match the photos. I see, Roy, your question here. We actually don't match the photos to the names. We don't have to. We take all the photos, put them up into we've got an in-house e-commerce system, which I built very easy. It's WooCommerce. It came for free with our website.
Why not?
But we put them up there. The kids then go in and everything is tagged by sport. So if you're a baseball player, you'll go into South Iredell High School baseball and you'll find your picture and you'll buy it. And when you buy it, we're going to get the name on the credit card, which is probably the parent, we know, but we also have a mandatory field in there where they have to type in the athlete's name.
Their name, the number, if applicable.
For when they buy
the jersey number.
So it matches up. And we know that, this image applies to Kathleen Martin, softball player.
So so the banner sales are done through your own commerce and so you're selling them individually to the parents, not grouped to the booster club, just to clarify.
Correct.
Yep.
In all cases, well, there are a couple of schools that pay for the banners, so that the school writes the check. We're all over the map, honestly. Some of our schools, we give a kickback to them because they're using it as a fundraiser. At the absolute opposite extreme, we've got some, schools in economic situations where they pay for 100% of the banners for the kids. But our system will accommodate all of those.
And then we take the banner images once they've been, done up and they're all ready. That's what goes into PhotoDay along with those extracted images on the different backgrounds.
Which I bet is a great segue to where Lisa's going next. I see that demo.
So we're making a lot more money on these banner images.
Well, that's what I think the exciting part is, wanting to show everybody kind of what it looks like and how it works. This is my sample demo account in here. And I'm going to turn my camera off because we're going to kind of...
scared the hell out of me, Lisa, there. I looked at that AOV. It's like, no, that's not us. Ours is... ours is a little larger than that.
Yeah, my demo account here is not very exciting. Your accounts are much more exciting when I look at it. I've even thought about, I was like, can we just put like some fake data in here to make my account look more exciting? But yeah, so I want to turn my camera off to get out of the way. But I wanted to show you guys like the typical job setup here in PhotoDay and how it all works. So, Ed and Kathleen are using the group jobs right now. So that's kind of where I want to go with it and just show you how to set up a job and how easy it is to go from start to finish. And Ed and Kathleen, if you guys want to chime in here at any time, just go ahead and cut me off and
I've seen this screen a few thousand times, I think.
Yes, getting set up and selling with PhotoDay is pretty quick and easy to do. And the more jobs you have, the more often you do it. So I'm just going to put a sample name in here, the LNHS lacrosse. That's what we're doing. I don't know if that's how you would name it, but that's how I would name it. And then we have high school sports as the job category. And I'm going to go ahead and link it to the organization that I created. I just put my name in here. But welcome. Roy's brand new. So he's never seen this before. So welcome, Roy. So you put your picture day date in here. Don't worry if you have multiple dates. You can just put your first date in. This is just how we list your jobs in chronological order when viewing them. And then you can estimate the amount of people being photographed if you knew that. And that's just for your own analytics or insights if you're tracking opt-ins versus estimated amount of people. The job logo over here, you can upload like a school logo here. It appears in the gallery as an icon. It also goes on some of the products. If you're using a lab that has custom products that allows for that job logo to be added to the memory mates, you put a PNG here, make sure it's good resolution. If you're clipping it out, make sure it's clean and it's print quality before doing that if you're using it with products, because you don't want it to print like not very good. So, all right. And then once we go in here, we set up the gallery access. This is where the 3 different gallery types in PhotoDay reside. Group galleries here, you're able to name the gallery here with an access code. All of these access codes are unique to the PhotoDay short code of 90738. This is how people opt into their gallery, is they text that code or scan a QR code that brings up their text messages, and they can just hit send to 90738. So if another code, if this you put something in here too generic like baseball, it's probably already been used at one point in the very beginning of PhotoDay, it will not let you use that code. So it will throw an error. So you have to have a unique code in here. I'm just going to leave it the randomly generated code, and then save it. And then from here, you're able to set up your storefront. Now, I know I'm going to stop here when we talk about setting up our storefront and our price sheets, because I think we're going to skip advanced pay today because you guys don't use that. That's for another webinar. But for the products and the price sheet, I think I wanted to kind of skip ahead here and just really talk about setting up a price sheet and most of all that retouching feature. So I'm going to open this spring demo price sheet I started.
I love retouching. There's a good lead right there.
Yeah, it's right here. So you have, for any price sheets you create, the retouching is a new feature PhotoDay launched last fall. And it's AI retouching, does an amazing job. And it's instant. It is absolutely instant. So if they order downloads with retouching, it's an instant delivery to them, retouched. And what do you guys charge for retouching?
$10.
$10. Yeah. And this is a little bit more than basic. So it does a little bit more than basic, but it's not an extensive retouch. It's not going to remove a Band-Aid from their face. It's not going to whiten their teeth or anything like an extensive retouch. It's going to get rid of acne, or like if it sees a scar or a cut or something like that, it's trained to get rid of those unwanted blemishes. That's really important to say. It will not remove moles. It knows that that is a freckle or a mole. It will not remove that. It's removing the unwanted blemishes, and it's softening the skin slightly, but it's retaining the texture of the skin. So it's not over retouching, which is really great. And as long as
love it,
our customers absolutely love it. We sell a lot of this.
Yeah, if you're not using it, this is something Ed said. If you're not
pause
using
the webinar right now and go ahead to your price sheet, because you're losing money this moment by not having it on. It's just magic.
Yeah, go turn it on. It's great. It's money. It's just easy money, right?
It really is.
And it's become, I mean, how many people do you think actually, you guys sell a lot of retouching, right? Because you're doing high school stuff. So.
Oh, God, yes. High school, I mean, and you know what's nice about it is we try and go into these things with giving everybody kind of a positive feel about when we do the session, and, we're very upbeat and very positive towards the kids and stuff. I want them to come out of the session feeling really good about themselves. But they might have some issues with their skin. Now we're taking that out. They can, if they're uncomfortable with how their skin's looking, they can feel better about it by, just a little click. And we have a lot of kids that do it. There's one of my kids.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw this up on the screen really fast, the before and after. It did a really great job. If you guys can see that of the retouch, and that's, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So works
and
great.
It's not something that nobody else knows you use the retouch. If you're coming from the perspective of a kid, just makes you look better. It doesn't make you look overdone. And our kids love it, because we've had kids on the sideline. They'll say something to usually Ed, because he's standing off to the side. They'll say, are you going to see all this stuff? And they kind of wave towards their face and like, no, we got something, we got that, we'll cover that, you know.
Yeah. And Kristen, to answer your question, you can see how many retouches you are selling simply at the top of your screen. You have this nice little report section. My account is not, it's not fun to look at if you're actively
one of our highest products.
There's a product report right here, and you can pull it by job or you can query it by date range or a combination of both to view a whole complete list of all the products that you're selling. And then you can export this report if you're using it for any kind of other analytics or you want to crunch numbers. But yeah, so it's under reports, under products, you'll be able to see that. So yeah, awesome. So if you do a large school, can the kid use the facial recognition to find their images? Yeah, we are going to get to that, Roy, here in a few. I just want to finish the storefront process here so I can show you.
Face find is absolute magic.
I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that here very shortly. So in the packages and print products, can you guys touch on a little bit about this? Do you offer like all the a la carte items that you have? You know, or how do you have like a method to this, or you just kind of offer everything and design packages, or how'd you come up with that?
Well, we're very fortunate that we've gotten to, you know, tap into the community of PhotoDay and Jay and Karina Boatwright in particular, and we've really mirrored our price sheet after others in the community, starting with the Boatwrights, but to see what's successful around the country, what really works. You're going to find everybody that's listening to this, just hop on the Facebook group, ask questions, and people are very generous in giving whatever information you want. So our price sheet is definitely mirrored after Jay and Karina's. We've done some twists and changes on things. We do offer pretty much everything a la carte that we offer in packages. One thing that we did that was different than Jay and Karina, they've got a couple of funny names, but we found that people are clicking into the packages by giving them slightly funny names. So we've got something called Grandma Called, She Wants More Photos. And it's a whole bunch of prints. Now, people might see the packages and say, it's a gimmick. They're trying to, you know, sell me, you know, high profit things. That's really not what we're doing. We're giving people a really good deal and putting things together that they want. We've got a perfect 10, which is 10 digitals. Because
PD 100, we were like, people will say, I never get any PD 100s. Check your packages. Put a package together that is a PD 100 buster. Yeah. And we've got a couple of those.
Yeah, and another great one right now, folks, is everybody is, you know, now that COVID seems to be over, we've got one called Back to the Office. You're going back to your desk and, you know, you've been away from it for 2 years. Guess what? It's time for some new photos. So it's a couple of prints for mom or dad's desk back at work when they're done working at home.
Yeah, I mean,
there, a coffee mug, a couple of prints, and a digital. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it's important to note that, you know, the package names, if you're going from paper or an online prepaid system to PhotoDay, don't put the package A, B, C, D. Like, think about naming your packages to make it interesting. So they actually look at this, and then they can, or you can even put the savings in the description here. So they know what they're saving by ordering the packages. But we got a couple incoming questions before we get to the next screen. Is there a preview of the retouch before purchase? Eric, no, there is not a preview. If you would personally like to see any previews of retouch on your images just to see what your customers would think, you can always reach out to us in the support chat bubble. Once you log in, that's down here in the corner. You can click this chat and send us a file and ask us to see a retouch version so you can kind of see what it would do. We have no problem doing that for you guys. And then for the cutouts or extraction, so you have to shoot them on green screen. Christy's asking. So you guys are for PixNub, right?
Yep,
you don't have to. It really depends on what you're using for extractions on how you're going to shoot them, right?
Yep. Yeah, there are play. You can send it out to Rabuku or Pure Photos that will do things non-green screen and do a really good extraction for you. They're typically going to cost more money than green screen because everybody can automate with green screen or blue screen. But you don't have to do green, but I highly recommend it.
Yeah. And then let's see. Oh, so how would a noob get a hand up with a sample price sheet asking for a friend? We can also help you out with that in the support chat, Roy. So come in and ask us to see a sample. We'll ask you some questions about your style of photography, what you're currently doing, what you want to do, and we'll help mold and help inspire you to create the perfect price sheet for your first job with PhotoDay. And even if you guys listening today want us to take a look at it based on our data and make some suggestions or help guide you through it as we're going and moving into this busy spring season, don't be shy. Ask our customer success team is absolutely amazing. And if you guys missed the announcement yesterday, Brian Dorinski is now part of the PhotoDay team. So he is also here to help us, and he is one of you guys. He's also a sports photographer.
He's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mug.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, like Lisa said, use the bubble. Talk to the PhotoDay folks. Use the Facebook group. This is a fantastic community for sharing great ideas and answering questions. So you'll get tons of great feedback. Yes.
Now, you mentioned from the price sheet here, you guys do. I'm sure you do digital packs as well, and all that good stuff. And we can talk about this, but I want to kind of move ahead of the price sheet and get going on backgrounds, because you mentioned that you're putting your banner images up here and designing these custom background sets. And I went ahead and I wanted to show you guys like how to actually create that set and how easy it is to create a background set here in PhotoDay. And this is, right now it is live with all labs with the exception of Bay or Black River Imaging. Those two labs do not have the background feature quite yet, but the rest of our partner labs do. But we're still working on it for Bay and Black River Imaging, which we'll be releasing as soon as we can get that done. But for here, I'm just going to put the sample collection, because I already made one with the official name. And I'm just going to show you guys how easy it is to create your own background collection. How'd you guys create these, or where did you find them? These are yours. So
yeah, over the years, Kathleen has had lots and lots of different templates that she's purchased to do backgrounds with. So we've tapped into some of those. Like the stadium one you just saw there is one of those. Yeah. American flag is one of those.
Yeah, because every year I make a different banner for each school, and I try and do it unique to the school. I mean, if that one you're on right now is the sunset on Lake Norman, and then the building in the background is the stadium. So that one,
and that's the actual banner background
for
the Lake Norman banners this year.
Yeah,
so putting it in there as just a generic background is wildly popular.
Yeah, they think that's wonderful.
They love that one. The best one on here. Somebody will probably ask the question. The one that you're about to get to right there, Lisa, with the cinder block wall with the logo and the spotlight on it. One more down. That one, I've got 3 versions of it. I've got a hardwood floor, grass, and dirt. And that by far is our most popular background. Everybody loves that one. And the images look really cool on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, totally awesome. Yeah, we're going to see what those images look like here shortly. But so these background collections, you can make as many background collections as you want. It's important to note that the backgrounds you upload to PhotoDay are 2,400 by 3,000 pixels. They can be horizontal or they can be vertical, like depending on your style of images. You can have a mix of both when you're designing backgrounds, and you can create additional collections, and you can attach more than one collection to a job to better kind of organize and narrow down that data set for the customers. So so that's just what creating a background collection is. Roy's asking if you sell backgrounds. We are going to publish a default PhotoDay background collection that our creative team has been working on. That will be for release very, very soon, within the next couple of weeks, I think. We'll be able to release that to you guys, and you'll be able to download and use those in PhotoDay as well. And there's everything in there from spring portraits for schools to sports and even some holiday stuff. But I don't know why it's taken so long to save. I already have this uploaded. So I feel we were talking earlier, and I was like,
you're gonna do your best Julia Child right here. The food is already cooked. Look at that.
I already prepped this, so you don't have to sit here through the upload time and wait for everything to happen. Oh wait, I went to the wrong gallery. It's this one right here that I named. So I already prepped this gallery and I already uploaded everything, so you don't have to wait for it to finish out of the oven for my cooking show here. So yeah, that's how it works. So so setting up your job, we'll just jump back here into settings. We did pick the gallery access. This one I set up as public because I did it in advance and I totally dropped the ball. You guys use group, but whatever. It's almost the same difference. Yeah, it's almost the same difference. Yep. I already have the price sheet connected to the gallery. Once you connect the price sheet to the gallery, it asks you to choose the product theme collection. So if you have anything themable on your price sheet, like a memory mate as an example, it knows to display those different variations for your customer to pick from for those sport types. And you can have multiple ones. And these are directly tied to the individual labs. Gallery promotions, if you're running a whole gallery special, this kind of appears at the top, just like any other online e-commerce site you go to when they're running a special, and it automatically preloads it in their cart if you're doing a whole gallery offer. And then, you know, the shipping, this is the shipping that's set up for this job in particular. It's a drop ship. It's going to Reedy. This is their economy, priority, and express turnaround times. Your customer sees this when they're shopping and they get to checkout, they get to upgrade their shipping if they want their order sooner. So if you guys are new and you see an $18.95 shipping charge, it's because your customer wanted to pay for expedited shipping to get their order faster. So just wanted to clarify that. And then here in backgrounds, you can see where you can pick the background collection once you assign a price sheet to a job that is eligible for backgrounds. That's the sample collection I just made. The LNHS is the same one. I just kind of already went ahead and selected a default background. Look, I picked your most popular one.
Hey, it's even popular with you, Lisa.
Yeah, I liked it. I was like, this is really cool looking when I was in here testing your gallery.
50% of our sales are that background.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah,
whether I set it as the default or not, everybody just loves that one.
Yeah, it's a really cool background. Now, the photos that you guys sent me, I went and uploaded them in advance. But when I uploaded them as one set. So I kind of broke them and tagged them individuals, teams, and groups. Do you guys organize your photos that way, or do you just kind of?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We're always going to have teams, individuals, and I call them dynamic background photos just so they can get all the extracted photos.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just came up with dynamic background photos, the term myself, but you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, I like that. And then I like how you guys leave the reflection or the floor shadow in here too, because it gives it a little bit of depth.
That was a fortunate accident. When we shoot on green screen, we've got some little floor tiles that we put down. We just bought them on Amazon. They're like the little, half-inch thick things that
like
go together like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, they're kind of flat, matte. They're not really shiny, but it has just enough reflection so that when you shoot the photo, there's enough green that reflects off of it that the PixNub software gives you a translucent floor. Yeah. But you still get, look at you point to it right there. You still get the shadows under the feet so they don't look like an astronaut floating in space.
Yeah, and I'll show you guys what this looks like. Yeah, Rebecca, to answer your question, yeah, the floor shadow is left by PixNub, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I send it out to Pure Photos, it gets extracted. It's PixNub is thank you, Damon. I don't think you're on the webinar right now, but he actually does a really good job preserving the floors for us.
Oh, by the way, Brad's here because he did come in and say hi. So hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
I got a private message.
I bet it's cold and windy there.
He's eating lunch, so
yeah. But yeah, so Roy, to answer your question, yeah, these images were for the banners, right? So you put them in the gallery with the team and individuals for the extra sales, for more product, more inventory. Because your inventory is your images, right?
Mentally extracting more money.
Yeah, and Lisa, if you scroll down to the next row, you're going to see over on the far right, you see that one that looks a little bit dark, and then the one below it.
Yeah,
that's just Kathleen turns off the front light, and we hit them with another drama light on their side,
and they come
up with these really cool silhouette effects. The kid could be in the same exact pose that you were shooting him in before, but you just turn off the A light and turn on the side light, and bang, you get this different effect.
Yeah. So how do you guys, after you upload everything and you're ready to publish, how do you guys get the word out?
Well, we've got all the registration data. So everybody gets an email. So parents and the athletes all get an email. And athletes never read email. So we text them at the same time. I use a service called Text Magic. But there's a bunch of them out there. And that just sends out the message saying, hey, the photos are available. In order to access them, you need to send the access code LNHS LAXW to 90738. And I even put a link in that SMS so they can click on it at the end. And it creates a new text message and populates whatever the gallery code is to 90738. So all they have to do is click send.
Yeah. I'll usually do the team photo because the team photo, we're giving it away. I've started putting it on Twitter and Instagram, and it all goes over to Facebook. So I blast that on social. and then put in there the information on how to get to that. Here's the team photo, or the photos have gone live, all that stuff. Check your email or whatever, but you can text, LNHS Lex, whatever, to 90738 to see more photos. That helps.
Yeah. And then on our website, we put, because we do have group galleries right now, we do have access codes. So I've got a web page for each school that has all of their access codes. And the link to that, we're having all the schools publicized by putting up into the gyms and the stadiums and the ticket booths and wherever we can put it, read it on the PA announcement.
Yeah.
You want to go to the photos, go to lknimages.com/LNHS. And it shows you all the gallery codes, which is why we're going to go to group galleries. So they're going to be deep links for public galleries.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you might. But I mean, it's like, it sounds like a lot to absorb at first, but I feel like once you get through it, and your process, it becomes like a no-brainer. Yep. Like you're just kind of flowing with that same process over and over again.
It's exactly that. You just set up a bunch of automations, whether that be stuff in Photoshop that just processes things through their automations, or the TextNet stuff. And I spend more time sitting there staring at my screen waiting for the process to end than I do doing the work. So I can catch up on TV shows or something. I'll watch the latest Star Trek or something while the extractions are getting done.
Now, the one thing I wanted to point out here too is that you guys do put some text on your photos, but you do a really great job with making sure that this aspect ratio and your margins will accommodate that 5:7 crop.
Actually, it'll accommodate a 4:6 because some people have decided they need a 4:6 team photo. So I've got every template. I have a base template that I use for each school, and it has the crop marks from 5:7 down to 4:6. It starts as an 8:10 because it drives me nuts when somebody cuts all this stuff off. So I would typically not like to see the verbiage down such tight under their feet. But somebody's going to get a 4:6 and get cranky about it. So
and that particular image right there is the one that we gave away for
that's
free.
the free one.
So that's the free one, but we also put it into the gallery in case somebody wants to get it as a print or they want to use it on a memory mate. And people buy it.
Oh, we offer all these in black and white too. People like black and white.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't put black and white images in here. I only put the color. I think that's what you sent me. But just to show you,
on the extracted ones, but all the individual photos and the team photos, we do everything a duplicate of it in black and white. And people buy it. They will buy the black and white photo and they'll buy the color photo at the same time. And I'm pretty sure anybody's computer could do it for them, but they buy it.
Tony's got a question here. How do you create a new commerce website per client? What's the tool that you're using to create those pages? Are you using?
It's WooCommerce, Tony. The website builder that I use is called Show It, which is a nice drag and drop interface that sits on top of WordPress. And once you have WordPress, you get WooCommerce for free. So I didn't even know I had it a year and a half ago. And I started looking for an e-commerce system and said, holy crap, there's actually one already built into this thing. And it works great. So it comes along with my Show It annual subscription. If you go to lknimages.com, you can get to it. If you go to lknstore.com, you'll get directly to the e-commerce store.
All right. I'm just going to put that here.
lknstore.com.
All right. I'm just going to put that in here for anyone that wanted to bookmark that and take a look. But so the other way you could also do it too in PhotoDay, and I know you have your own system set up, but you could create flyers in here, and you can import emails in here, and you can use PhotoDay to send your emails as well if you were short on time and didn't have time to get through it. But definitely the way Ed and Kathleen, you're doing it with the automation and the control makes it very simple. And there's a lot of resources out there to get it done. It's just a matter of finding the right ones that are user-friendly and that'll work for you. So thanks for those suggestions. When
it was just me doing this before Ed came on full-time, or before he came on, I used what you guys provided us. I was just
that's a great point. We're fire hosing everybody with years worth of work that we've done, because we have been with PhotoDay for this is our third year. So this has been a very iterative process, and you learn, and I've added on, and it takes time. But we turned PhotoDay on and used it with our first job for a local rec league, and could not believe the results right out of the box. And used all the tools that you guys have, and I hadn't built anything. We
tripped right into it. I mean, we were just like, okay, we'll push this. Yep, we got to use. I mean, we printed out the cards that you guys have under the marketing materials.
Oh,
and I had them drop shipped over to the mom in charge. This is at Fort Mill Soccer. And she handed them all out. And, we did great. It was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Like I said, we lived and learned. We realized, wow, we're getting all the athletes to opt in, but we're not getting to the parents. So Kathleen and I would sit down, and there's usually a bottle of wine involved, and say, all right, well, how do we figure that out? It's like, well, it'd be great if we get, collect the parents' information.
Yeah.
It's like, well, PhotoDay doesn't do that because they want to just be very simple and just, use the opt-in code. I bet I can build a registration system.
That's so easy.
Yeah. So, but again, this is years worth of stuff that's brought to this point. I'm happy to get into the Facebook group and talk more about this with folks. But out of the box, PhotoDay is going to do.
Yeah, you can do it.
Amazing things for you to make your life easier.
Yeah, Roy, you're sitting there being a newbie and everything. It's like, you can do this. It's not that hard. I am not technical. Obviously, it is, but I started it before he was there with me, and so. Tripped and fell right into it and worked out great.
Yep. So I wanted to show what this gallery looks like published. So you do your communication, you send out an email to everybody, they get a publish link, they go into the published gallery.
There you are.
I had a different default background selected when I did this screen. So
I bet you can change that really quickly though, if you just click on one of them. No, don't do it there. Do it in
you want to show me so
what the customer sees.
Right. So this is what the customer sees, right? So when they're shopping, now they have different ways to find their photos here. They can use Face Find. That's PhotoDay's shiny thing. So when you're in a big gallery and you got a whole lot of images, sometimes it's easier for the customer just to go in here and select Face Find, take a selfie or upload a photo of themselves on their camera roll, and it'll magically find all of their own photos. We use Face Find a couple different ways in the group and public galleries that I'll show you guys today. We also have tags. That's the folder structure. If you remember how I set it up, groups, teams, and individuals, they can narrow down the images. These are great to use. All photos is just what we were looking at now, is all photos in the gallery. Now, at any time, you can toggle on or off one of these search options. Up to 2 you can turn off. You always have to have 1 search option, and that is in the settings of your job under gallery search options, and you can toggle those on or off to make it kind of how you want to do it for your specific gallery that you're running here. So I'm just going to look at all photos here, but this is one of those extracted images, and you can kind of see how there's that nice reflection. It doesn't look like they're floating, but the customer can change the backgrounds. I'm going to go to the popular one here.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that.
It looks really, really good.
What's the little cross player doing in the gym? Oh, now she's in the dirt.
Now she's in the grass.
There you go, Ashton. You're finally in the grass.
But yeah, so they can buy and preview those photos. And then once they go into the storefront, they can start buying that. I think the cool thing about this too is they can actually purchase the same image in their backgrounds for downloads, but they can choose different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So not only that,
boy, do they ever.
Yeah, so it's like the same image, and when I go back to find it, it's going to find similar photos where it found her face in these images, and then they can change. That's another way we use Face Find, right? Is being able to run the similar in the cart, so we know that person is shopping for that person. So we're going to present them with all the images of that person that it can find.
Digitals in that case, because you're looking for digitals. She's in the team photo, or she might not be in the team photos actually.
I don't think she's in the team photos. That's not finding her.
I think I sent some Lake Norman Charter photos.
But like if I go to let's find.
If you go down to the blonde on the right, bottom right,
this girl.
Yeah, she is in the group photos. She's a senior.
Okay, so if I select her. And then let me confirm, and we're kind of mixing it up a little bit. Let me go back to her because I already started with her, so I might not be able to. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
When I find similar, it finds her in all these photos. So, the way it's designed here in a group or public gallery is we know mom is looking for that one person when she selects it and puts it in her cart. So even if she didn't use Face Find originally to find her photos, it's going to run in the cart as she's changing out and swapping images in the cart and present her with her images like it's her own gallery even though you're using a big group gallery.
It makes it so much easier.
So awesome.
And you know, what's really nice is we're going to be shooting a big graduation, you know, well, I think it's big, 400 or 500 kids. We're going to have 3 shooters out there doing different kinds of things, you know, on the stage, coming off the stage, in the crowd, all that stuff. And we did this last year with PhotoDay, and it's incredible. It just like populates all the photos. You know, before you used to have to go through and scroll through, you know, potentially 4,000 photos or something. This thing just does it. So if you're shooting graduations, get PhotoDay.
Yeah.
And turn off the all photos link, because that will, and something that big, that'll just overwhelm people.
Yeah.
Just do tags and FaceTime, and people will.
That looks really sharp the way you have that one done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, so I mean, we're running just about over an hour. I got so distracted with playing around with your background features.
We always go long.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys. But these just look really cool. I couldn't stop looking at them. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of like an insight into how that works with the customer side, some shiny features of PhotoDay. But let's get back to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and come back to my camera. And
here we are.
Hey guys, we're back. And then I'm going to come back to my slideshow here. Let me just start this up again and show you guys. And then we already talked about retouching, but AOV. So I think this is really important to talk about, like your time versus return, you know, on like, you know, you guys always preach, like you're saving so much time doing this, right? And you're making so much more money, right? You guys have a busy life too. You're always traveling.
Oh my God.
So you had more than one wedding this year. So
oh yeah, that's we're done with that. We're done with those. No more weddings. Thank you. We didn't shoot them. We were parents of.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's so important too, is like when you're looking at everything in business and trying to make decisions on, like Larry said it best, you get your life back. You know, that's really important. Yes, your AOV is important, but also so is your return on time, right? The return on time, the investment you're making with whatever workflow it is. And change is hard in general. Like change is always challenging, always, because it's all different. You don't know what to expect. But I mean, I think when you keep your eye on the prize, like what is the end game you're trying to accomplish? I want to save time. I want to make more money. The obstacles that you encounter in between just become easier to overcome, and they become more of a challenge and more fun to overcome, so you can reach your end goal of giving that time back. So we talked about post-picture day marketing. You guys are sending a link out, so I'll skip through that. You guys Expire Galleries, right? This is one of the controversial PhotoDay topics.
This is where we do something different than the boat rights, and in a rare occasion.
Yeah.
We wait until about 2 weeks after the particular sports season has ended. Now it's going to be different whether they make it into the playoffs or whatever. But about 2 weeks after we'll expire it, we use all the communications mechanisms that we have to try and get that burst
Twitter,
of sales
too, and
at
all
the
the
end.
Other things, social media.
And then at the end of the school year, we turn them all back on again with a special end of the school year price list. And then we expire that.
Graduation. It'll go through graduation.
Yeah,
because if you're out there, you know, in graduation and stuff. So.
And then we're done with it, and we're already starting to shoot fall sports. By the time we shoot, we'll shut off the class of 2022. We're already shooting the class of 2023, and we start turning them all back on again. And
people come to us and will say, "Hey, you know, I missed this one." We will turn them on for people. We don't charge them extra. We don't do anything strange. We just do it and say, "All right, you've got 3 days." And then it'll be like, "She didn't order anything yet. Are you going to talk to her?" I'm like, "Yes, I'll call."
Well, what I actually do is I just change the gallery access code and I add the graduation year to the end of it. So if the gallery code was LNHS Lax W, it becomes LNHS Lax W 22 or 21 or whatever. And so they are expired. I put them in the archive, but I can turn them back on in about 2 clicks.
Yeah,
even I can do that.
Makes it super easy. Kathleen,
it's like, why is this gallery at? Oh, so there you
go. We reopen at the end of the school day or the school year. So yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do things, right? As long as you have a strategy. I think that's most important here to talk about. Have a strategy. Make your strategy. Continue to fine tune it. You can do different jobs, different ways, and then figure out which works best. In the marketing world, we call that A/B testing, right? Figure out which strategy is going to work best for you. and keep fine tuning it, because you have the data and you have the insights right at your fingertips. You're not counting paper forms anymore and trying to figure out what sold and what didn't sell. It's all right here. You have digital data analytics.
When I showed up at that trade show and went in and listened to some of the speakers and walked in and they're like talking about their paper order forms, and I'm like, I gotta go. You know, and you know, it works for some people. And there were some very, very large groups doing it. I don't have that kind of time. I mean, I don't have 40 people working for me. You know, I remember coming back from some of these shoots and having a stack like this, and great, you know, there were some dollar bills in there. I did love that. But in the end, to spend an entire morning trying to just take the paper or the staples out of a check and not rip the check and, you know, do all that kind of stuff, that's stupid time. I'm by that point that I would have had all that done, my galleries are live.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just so much faster. And then not to mention all the miscellaneous orders when people forget to order on the paper form and they call you and you got to stop and you do, you know, you're 15 jobs ahead by this point. And that job was 3 weeks ago and you got to dig it out of the stack. And I'm having
please do not contact me outside of the realm of what we're doing, because I'm gone. My attention span's gone. So
yeah. So this is you know, so PhotoDay, just to go over the cost for anybody new that's wondering how we do, because PhotoDay is completely free to sign up, get started. You can upload your images to it, even from last season. If you just want to play around with it, you're more than welcome. We don't even have a place for you to input credit card information to get an account. So it is all totally free. You connect your Stripe account when you're ready to start selling and get paid. And then our fee becomes 10% on the transaction. That is before tax and shipping. So there's a lot of options out there. We do things a little bit differently. So our 10% is off the subtotal pre-tax and pre-shipping. The Stripe credit card processing fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents a transaction. It's important to note, if you're doing a lot of siblings, mom will only have one transaction when she checks out. So you'll save a little bit there versus the paper form, running credit cards and all that good stuff. And then, of course, the best part is no lab bills and no minimum orders, right? To get to like the order to come shipped to you, right? So no lab bills. You don't have to pay a lab bill. Everybody is paid out of one transaction. And then the money is just, along with the applicable sales tax, is deposited to your account.
How about not having to set up, like I love Miller's. Miller's is my pro lab for portrait and stuff, but I used them for school and sports before. And I had to go back recently because somebody wanted some buttons that were specific to what Miller's had. I was like, okay, I'll just go do that. I think I cranked and moaned about that one for about an hour and a half as I was going through ordering soccer buttons for one. I mean, I don't think I.
There were some words that 40. You and I were too young to hear.
I mean, it took so long, and I remembered how awful you have to set up your price list. You have to get your group together. You have to know who's who. Thank you for not.
I think Roy chimed in and said, kudos on the front steps project. You guys did amazing with that too.
Thank you.
That was a while ago. Yep.
A couple of years ago.
2 years ago right now. So,
yeah.
Thank God COVID's over. I know. Sort of.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, but yeah, so you get all this included for free. You get your text marketing, email marketing. We have the Capture app, Dashboard app, track your sales. Always seeing we're pushing you notifications right to your Apple Watch.
And don't forget about the bubble. Bubble is the best. The customer support that you guys have is just bubble. Phenomenal.
Yes, don't ever try to figure out a problem in silence and frustration. We are here for you guys. Like, we will help you through it. If you're frustrated, if you don't know the answer and you're getting frustrated, send a message to the bubble.
Or go to Facebook too. I mean, the user group on Facebook is incredible for figuring things out because everybody's had their own time doing this. And so, you know, they've come up with some strange ideas.
And then we go segue to the bubble. You even put it on there. Very nice on the last slide.
Yeah. So thanks. There's our bubble icon in the corner. Thanks, guys, for your time today. Thank you, Ed and Kathleen, for sharing so much with us. It's a great webinar.
Sorry if it was a fire hose, everybody.
No, I think it was great. And yeah, I agree with you, Roy. We need the bubble in every day in our life. Every company should have a bubble with amazing support. I totally agree with that. And that is why we do things the way we do here at PhotoDay, because we believe everything should be simple. We should be using technology to the fullest and making it using it as added convenience for our lives in business and our personal lives. we can get there and we can spend more time in person and hanging out and drinking wine. Yeah, for sure. So thanks, guys. Let you get to it.
Thanks, everybody.
See you, everybody.
We'll see you in the Facebook group.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.